Welcome back, Blerd Nation. Not only will the stars align, but the blurs will align in this episode. Join us to explore what's on the other side of the universe. But before we go on this galactic journey, make sure you hit the like button, drop some comments, and subscribe to the BlerdOut movement.
Confidence, yeah. It really shouldn't be no arguments, cause you're now viewing the greatest of all time, saying I can't get better, I promise.
Dr. Ronald Gamble is an award-winning theoretical astrophysicist, STEM educator, and visual artist. He is currently the Center of Research and Exploration in Space Science and Technology, CREST 2, Cosmic Origin Research Scientist at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center at the University of Maryland, College Park. He is the director of programs for a nonprofit organization called Science Haven, dedicated to making science accessible to all. He's also the vice president of a nonprofit organization called Black and Astro, an organization focused on increasing representation and amplifying the identity of Black astrophysicists and related space science fields. In a nutshell, he's a man who studies the mysteries of the universe. Welcome, Dr. Ronald Gamble. All right, so Dr. Ronald Gamble, thank you for joining us and welcome to the show. If you can just start by telling our audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Dr. Ronald Gamble. I'm a theoretical astrophysicist at NASA Goddard. I research all the weird stuff that people see in movies and sci-fi films, black holes, and these things called relativistic jets that we might, get into. But I'm a theorist, so I'm touching on a lot of the mathematical treatment of that, things that Einstein worked on like 100 years ago. That's what I'm doing at NASA. And then I'm also the director of my own NASA program called Cosmic Pathfinders program that is built for students in early careers to get them adjusted to the field. We're doing workforce development, hackathons. We're getting them space to give talks at NASA, inviting them in, teaching them skills, and hopefully getting them jobs. So,
Yeah, man, that's
yeah.
amazing. Now I gotta ask, in your background, is that a real equation?
It is. So this is a real background. You are looking at real work right here.
Oh, wow.
It's published, so can nobody steal it.
I got
But
it.
yeah, it's real.
Now outside of Captain Johnson, like what motivated you to be a astrophysicist, and is that what you always wanted to do?
Yeah, so I was into science when I was young, 4 years old. I used to throw food on my little solar system placemat my mom had. And then as I got to high school and got into college, I saw less and less of us, people that looked like me in my space. And so that's part of the motivation. We knew of the Katherine Johnsons. Okay, shout out, to all the hidden figures that are out there,
Yes,
but
sir.
it was the lack of representation that kind of motivated me. I'm like, okay, well, why aren't we here? Why? Bill Nye the Science Guy can't be the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Where's us, right? And we're the HBCU grads.
Yeah.
So that was part of my motivation to go in the field. And now I'm here, be outside. So we gonna keep doing.
Yeah, shout out HBCU. So,
Yeah.
so let's talk about something. Just I don't know, it's been like a month now. We had an eclipse, right? So I live in Dallas, right? So I think we got a total eclipse, like right 3:00 in the afternoon. It's just gone black on us. Like, did you see it, and what'd you think of that? How did you prepare?
It was awesome. I was up in Buffalo, New York. So I saw the eclipse at Buffalo State University. It was awesome. It was the first time I saw kind of something like that in that fashion since like 2017 was the last one. And it was a different vibe. During totality, things got dark, the weather changed, the temperature dropped 10 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the wind pick up. It was surreal. And then the sun comes back out and I was back to a regular day. So it was a pretty cool event. It's definitely something that you should not miss the next time it comes around.
Yeah.
Definitely see it the next time.
I'm curious, so I was struggling to take good pictures. Now I'm one of those people who got an Apple iPhone, so I saw some of my friends with Samsungs, and the Samsung pictures were way better. But like, is it like when it comes to like camera footage and such a like an eclipse, is it actually safe to put your camera in front of an eclipse, or could it also damage the film lens or the filters and whatnot? Or you need a filter to do it, but can it damage the phone the same way it would damage your eyes without the filtration?
It Cameras nowadays, your phone. I have an iPhone. I don't got the 15 or whatever you
Right.
jump, but I got something new enough. But I use my phone to take pictures.
Yeah.
And so you can the cameras nowadays, they have what's called like a CCD in it, right? So it's a digitized, version of your old Nikon that you might have or
Yep.
something like that. Don't point your flip phone at the sun, it'll break.
Got
But
it.
these iPhones are good. They're good enough. I think the iPhone's better than Samsung. Samsung sympathizers out there, y'all, come on, y'all can be quiet. But your camera's good enough. I took some pictures. Now, if you were in an area that had a little bit of cloud cover,
Hmm.
that was the best because the cloud actually it acted as a filter over
Mm,
top. So you could see the totality, you could see the ring, the annulus in there. So that's what I had. And we were lucky enough in Buffalo to have a little peek through some cloud cover. It was good.
got it. So
Hmm.
relativity and it's connected to supermassive black holes. Like that's really interesting, right? Like, what are some of the current projects that you're working on right now that relate to that?
Yeah, so I'm currently looking at why these really long jets that come off, they look like black hole lighthouses or lasers,
Okay.
right? So you can imagine a black hole laser coming off of a galaxy, right? I'm looking at why these things come off of the black hole. They're coming very, very near a surface that's called the event horizon. We know that. You can't fall in, you can't get out,
Okay.
right? But these jets are coming off very close to the horizon. I'm wondering why. So I'm trying to work out the math, trying to work out some new physics to figure out why this is happening, and then why matter is being accelerated to the speed of light
Mm,
very fast. Yeah, very fast, very energetic. These things are probably the brightest things in the universe you might see.
really?
So, yeah, and it's very, very violent activity around that black hole. So
Can
it's
you expound
it's
on like?
interesting to me.
Yeah, no, it sounds really cool. Can you expound on like the black hole? Like, what is the black hole,
Mhm.
and and what should we know about it? Of course, you study it, but for some of us novice out there,
Yeah.
that's into
No,
space, like
no, shout out to you. You got supermassive black hole correct the first time. So
got
bonus. So I'm gonna start off. A black hole's not a funnel, right? You might see the little funnel picture. It's not a funnel. It's a sphere.
it.
And it's actually a sphere that's squished down at the poles. So it's what's called an oblate spheroid. So it might be like you might think of it as like a fat M&M,
Mm,
if you will,
okay,
right?
yep.
So something that's more shaped like a football than a funnel. But these things are very simple. You only need mass, spin, and the area or the radius of the event horizon, right? The little
Hmm.
surface that you can't fall through, and that's it. Very simple objects in nature. You only need about three or four numbers to actually describe them. But there are regions of the universe, of space and time, where gravity overcomes everything. And you can't, no matter comes out, light doesn't come out. If I throw, my ex-girlfriend in there, she not coming out. Thank God. But but other things, photons, quarks, we're talking antimatter, electrons, planets, stars, they don't come out. They get ripped apart and they get pulled in. So they're very mysterious, and we don't know too much about them.
Yeah,
Even though we have a lot of data, that doesn't mean we know a lot about what's going on inside, right? So they're very mysterious. I like them.
dope. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. So I think just a couple years ago we got the was it Department of Space or Space Force now,
Yeah.
and added to our military divisions. And so why do you think so many people are wanting to go to space now? Is it safe, and is there life beyond Earth? There's a lot of movies that talk about this as well now, but for us simple folk, what do you think
Yeah,
about
I
that?
think space, like it's so we got to go back to the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So space, we had the space race in the 60s. We were trying to get to the moon for the first time, and that was really like a strategic advantage.
Hmm.
The military kind of pushed that back then, but now we've got SpaceX. We have a various array of commercialized, space companies and things. There are black-owned space companies
Really?
out there.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a few. And so now it's a commercial drive, right? What are the resources we can extract from space? What new things, what new telescopes can we put up there to look deeper into the universe, right?
Hmm.
NASA's doing that. James Webb went up, a bunch of other telescopes went up this past year. And then what's on the other side of the moon, right? Can we put resources on the moon that we can use in space?
Yeah.
So we don't have to rely on, the ISS, the International Space Station. That's not going to be up there forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's man-made, which means it's going to break at some point. Just like our phones break, ISS might break. How do you fix that? You need something more permanent.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're going back and forth to the moon. And then, we need to put a brother up on the moon too.
There you
So
go. If they
we got to
called you, you
put somebody
going?
up there. I'm not going.
You're not going.
I wish. They're not gonna let me go.
They're not gonna let you
I might
go.
not come back. Shoot.
I don't know, man. It sounds like you'd be the perfect person to at least be doing the math for them up there. Yeah. So I mean, like, so beyond your scientific pursuits, and you mentioned someone who has ADHD, like,
hmm
you're an accomplished painter, a graphic designer, and illustrator. What are some of the artistic endeavors that you have in combining those talents together?
Yeah, so I just launched an online store, designing t-shirts, shoes, bags, wall art, that's combining my science and my art together, right? So you
Love it.
see it behind, I painted that
You painted
painting
that?
behind me.
That's dope.
My science, my art, right? They smashing right together. So it's called The Art of Theory. You can go to theartoftheory.com.
Yep.
Um, and pretty much it's not your usual, you know, nerd out t-shirts or whatever, or the bad physics joke that's on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
This is some cool, these are cool things. Sorry, this you might see these in like um, I don't know. If y'all know of Dr. J's, if y'all know of any other stores in the mall, we're talking they look like high fashion. That was the whole point of it.
Dope.
Combine the style and the science and art together. And so you can check it out. All the designs I put up there, I did, but then also you have science in the art as well. So you're actually wearing some of my research on the
Oh
t-shirt.
wow, I
So
love that.
that
Okay.
and that's a dope part.
Yeah, that,
A
that
lot of
is
people
dope.
ask me, well, how can I get one of your pieces? Okay, well, buy a shirt. Now you got my research and
Yeah.
art.
And for some of those young people, in our community that may have ADHD, like, have there been any challenges for you as to, being creative and using your talent and the sciences together? What would you say to those young people out there to encourage them?
Yeah, I would say block out the noise.
Yeah.
Number one, you got to block out the noise. Um, Second thing I would say is that, and this is most important, that you can be your own worst enemy,
Mm,
right? So if you listen to the people telling you that, well, your ADHD is going to get in the way, how can you focus?
right.
Can you multitask? We great at multitasking. We just not great at telling you what we did. Um, it's a whole neurodivergent aspect as well. I'm on the autism spectrum,
Hmm.
as well. So a combination of that, you have to really drive yourself. You have to really tell yourself not to listen to people who are going to tell you that you are limited. You're not. It's a superpower. That's what I tell the students that I mentor. It's a superpower. You have to learn how to learn about yourself, learn your identity, and then amplify it, run it up, go outside, tell people about it.
Yeah.
And then you build a community that way. There's others facing the same challenges.
All right. So, as the director of the NASA Cosmic Pathfinders program, you're really deeply involved with a lot of the STEM professionals and the programs there to uplift and as we're related to mentoring. Can you tell us about some of the goals and initiatives that you have for the STEM professionals that you mentor?
Yeah, yeah. So primary goal of the program is to make sure that students in early careers meaning that's everybody between freshman, undergrad, all the way through postdoc, right? And it's including postbacks, people who are taking gap years within school, industry professionals that don't, have their PhDs or any tenure yet in their respective fields, can come into a NASA space, gain skills, mentoring, we're fighting imposter syndrome,
Mm.
networking, giving you a space to talk your science in a NASA space where it's invited. You can put it on your resume, and then also being, recruited by other opportunities like internships, fellowships inside NASA. So it's really like an all-encompassing, like professional development, workforce development program. One of the main facets of it is that it's also co-student led. So it's students
Oh,
talking to students.
yeah.
Yeah. So which is another thing that's very effective. I'm sure we've all been in class before in our respective degrees. We're in class. Maybe you listened to your teacher, maybe you didn't, but your partner that you were studying with, y'all learn more about each other, right? About the material, talking to each other than, sometimes from the professor.
Right.
So that's kind of the mentality here. It's kind of the peer mentoring aspect of it. Also, there are we're going to be starting up university chapters.
Mm.
So this is something that's brand new that NASA's never had before. It's just like NSBE, like SPS, which is Society of Physics Students.
Yeah.
Um, pick your favorite university club. It's like that. So, and then again, that gets NASA at home, right? So it gets NASA in their own space. They can interface with us more directly, more transparently, and then it makes them a better candidate, makes them more competitive in the field, which is already hard to get in to begin with.
Yeah, I can imagine. This will only be for collegiate students. Like, is this, do you have to be undergrad? Is it also for the graduate students? Like, how's that work?
It's freshman undergrad all the way up until, you get a postdoc. So
Got
that's
it.
grad,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So we're covering everybody. There's no GPA requirement,
Okay.
there's no application, there's no deadlines, it's year round. Um, it's domestic and international students. And we've hit over 500 students already.
Nice.
So we've got a lot of students interested in it. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. And
It's one.
we only launched in January.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So, is there
Yeah.
also a goal to kind of connect with the HBCUs with this program?
Of
I,
of
I mean,
course,
since
of
I'm not,
course.
I guess I'm not the scientist type, but so I don't know how closely related a lot of HBCUs are with NASA. But is that one of the goals to bring your program back to like your alma mater and such?
It's definitely one of the goals. And I'm talking with them right now. I'm
There
trying
you
to come
go.
back and be like to give a talk. I'm trying to set up a university chapter right now.
Right now.
Um, but that's definitely one of the goals. And you would think, they would have a stronger presence at NASA, and they,
Hmm.
they don't. We don't see it, right? So
Mm.
there's not that many of us. There's about maybe 10 Black people in my division in astrophysics
Wow.
out of 450 plus. So we need more. We need more representation. But that you need the support of others also to do that, right? So
Yeah.
it can't just be HBCU alumni supporting HBCU alumni. We need PWI supporting HBCU alumni.
There you go.
We need, MSIs, we need the Latin community, we need the Native American community. We need everybody supporting each other, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes this program kind of more effective. And then we can go into the HBCUs and scale it up.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Collaboration is the key.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, I mean, with your extensive academia experience and you got your nonprofit, and you're doing a lot of giving back with the Black community and the Latinx community. Like, can you kind of talk to us about how you intersect and everything, and how you're making an impact with those groups?
Yeah, so I'm on the board for the Science Haven. Um, I'm probably too busy. I'm on the board of maybe a few others. But the Science Haven right now is something that is led by Dr. Raven Baxter. Y'all might know her as Raven the Science Maven.
Okay.
Um, I have to give her a little shout out. That's my partner,
All right.
my girlfriend right there. So, we're a
Yeah.
power couple.
Okay. All right. Dope.
But yeah, we're something that we just did in February in the Buffalo, New York area that's going to be traveling around the nation is our Stellar Dreams Initiative.
Yeah.
So that's getting 100 telescopes to 100 Black families. And we just gave out 30 telescopes in the Buffalo, New York area. And they were absolutely thrilled. It was amazing to
Wow.
get that up and running and to see them put the telescope together. We had a viewing night up there in February, and it's amazing. So we're doing that. We're going to be doing that in DC, maybe Atlanta, LA. We're going to be traveling around with it. And so we've already have the 100 telescopes. We just need the families to say yes, pull up. Yeah, so we have all the telescopes already.
So what's the
We got to really
criteria to
fast.
apply for a program like that and get a telescope?
You just need a passion. That's it. We
Yeah.
require the students to submit, a short essay. Tell us why you want the telescope. Tell
Yeah.
us why you're interested in astronomy. And then, we'll tell you where to show up to get your telescope to be a part of the program. And then we'll also get you connected to the local kind of astronomy community as well. So that, we're not just giving you something and then walking away. We're going to get you connected, plugged in, and then, you're going to get some NASA swag. I got to give it out, and then get you more connected to the field, right? We want them to stay in STEM, stay in STEM. Don't
Yeah.
leave.
I love that, man. Heck,
Yeah.
got me wonder. I'm like, I want a telescope, cause yeah, I always wanted to look closer at the stars, and even got my daughter a telescope. But like, what's the right telescope to get? I'm sure you know
Hmm.
exactly. Like, here's one
Yeah.
that you're gonna be able to see up close at what's going on up there at night. So that's really cool. Let's talk about something else. Like, I mean, you've been the recipient of a lot of prestigious awards, including a NASA agency honor and the Royal Astronomy Society Annie Mauder Medal for outreach and public engagement. Like, how have these achievements influenced your path and as an astrophysicist and the work that you do in the community?
Man, I would say it's definitely it's definitely something, that feels nice,
Hmm.
right? It's definitely I feel humble. I feel the gratitude. But it also shows that, there's a lot more work to be done,
Yeah.
right? So I'm forever grateful for my awards. I found out that I got my NASA honor on my birthday. I was at NSB in Atlanta this
Oh,
past March,
yeah.
and somebody came up to me at the booth. Hey, congratulations on your two awards. I'm like, what are you talking about? You didn't check the email? No, I'm here trying to get these students internships. I ain't checking my email. So I went back to my hotel, checked the email. I was like, oh shoot, y'all really did it up. Y'all gave me two. That's crazy.
That's dope.
But it definitely it's a testament to, the work that needs to be done again. But then also, people are appreciating what you're doing, right? And you can't win these awards. And this is me telling, the rest of the community, you can't win these awards if nobody knows what you're doing.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the science communication aspect, if you gave a talk somewhere, talk about it online, make a video, make a little clip, tweet about it, make a thread. And that's how people can get to know you better. They
Yeah.
get to know your work. That's the lasting legacy. So
Got it.
it
So
feels
as it
good.
relates to
Yeah.
diversity and inclusion in STEM, like, the work that you're doing is amazing, right? What are you doing to advocate for, others joining you in this journey that you're on? And what do you need from the community to go further and build on the momentum that you have already began?
I mean, you said it. I need collaboration,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not afraid to collaborate with people. I'm not afraid to reach out. I'll send the cold email. I'll pop up if I record. So if I see you at Nesby one year or
Yeah.
something, I'm gonna say hi. Like, yeah, we recorded this podcast 2024. You remember?
Yeah.
But just to not be afraid to send that cold email, the cold call. You don't know what that's going to transpire into.
Yeah.
And we need that type of relationship in STEM, right? Especially, the Black and Latin communities. We need that.
Hmm.
We need more, we need everybody supporting us, right? And then showing up and showing out. That's what I tell my mentees. You got to show up and show out. You
Yeah.
can't just talk about it. You got to be about it.
There you go.
So, right after this, I'm traveling up to New York to do the same thing, right? Talking to these students, trying to get them interested in STEM, stay in the field of astronomy, and then share the science I'm doing.
Yeah.
Um, and so in terms of just the DEI, I like to call it workforce development, right? Nowadays, DEI is getting tainted. I don't like that
It's just
simply because
inclusion
we
now.
need it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's inclusion now. But we need more of the equity in it,
Yeah.
right? We
Right.
need we need us. We need us supporting us. We need them supporting us.
Yeah.
Pulling up to the HBCUs. We need that. There's not a single astronomy department at an HBCU.
Mm.
I want to change that. I want one at A&T.
There you go. That's what
You
I'm talking
know,
about. I mean, they're only they graduate the most black engineers in the world, right? Why
we
not
need we
start
need the
there?
most black
But
astronomers
there, I
there too.
like that.
So,
And
you know.
so, shout out Nesby, and you're also, a leader in the National Society of Black Physicists. How many people are in that group? I mean, since it seems like such a,
It's
an unknown right now. Like, where are the
it's a
black
good
physicists
bit. They've
at?
been they've been around. They've been around what 47 years. We're
Oh,
gonna
wow.
celebrate our 50th
Okay.
in 3 years. 2027 will make 50 years. So we're coming. We're almost neck and neck with Nesby. They
Okay.
they celebrated their 50 this year. I was there.
Yeah.
But it's I would say there's enough, right? There's enough to make noise.
Hmm.
There's enough to gain support. There's enough to put on programs. Our conference is going to be in Houston this year.
Okay.
Um, and so there's enough for us to show up and show out again, right? And then for us to not be ignored. I would also say that. So there's not that many black physicists out there. we all know each other.
Yeah,
Community small,
I bet.
right? But we small and mighty,
Yeah,
right? So we
small and
can't be
mighty.
ignored. You can't quiet us. We're gonna be there everywhere. But and you don't have to be a physicist to support either.
Yeah.
You can support anyway. This is supporting NSBP. Us talking, right? So
When is that conference coming up? I'm in Dallas, so Houston's just a
okay,
drive for me. So
yeah,
I love to.
it's November 13th through the 17th, I
Okay,
believe. We're gonna be
13th
in
through the 17th.
Houston. Pull
Okay.
up, pull up.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love Houston. Love going down there. With your academic career, the work in a nonprofit, black astrophysicist, like that's just super dope. Like, what advice would you give to a young person or aspiring astrophysicist who loves space, wants to know more about it, and get into the field? Like, what advice would you give to them and encouraging them on, what are the steps they need to be taking to get there?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just boil this down to three things because I could talk, but we ain't gonna be here forever.
Go for it.
First thing is that um you have to understand, and this is the not nice thing. You have to understand that there are people that in the field that want to see you fail.
Mm,
And a lot of times we don't want to believe it. You might have seen it yourself being in engineering,
yeah.
right? We see it in STEM. There's a lot of people that want to see you fail, but there's more people that want to see you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to go find them and ignore the people that want to see you fail, right? Second thing I'll say is, you have to fight, you got to fight for your dreams, even if you have to fight yourself,
Mm,
right? So again, a lot of times, and we touched on this earlier, a lot of times you have to fight your own self-doubt, that imposter syndrome, right? Or that imposter phenomena. It's now what it's being referred to. That's internal, right? No one's forcing you, to count yourself out. Even though there's outside pressure, you have to be able to stand firm, stand 10 tones down. You know what you're talking about. You got your training, whether it's from Howard, Morehouse, Spelman, A&T, Harvard, Columbia, whoever, right?
yeah.
We all got the same degrees.
Mm-hmm.
We all know the same knowledge. It's your job. You have a duty to kind of, make yourself more competitive, make yourself stand out, and then stand firm. Don't let anybody sway what you want to do. And then the last thing I'll say is that, in terms of pursuing your dreams, um, your battle scars are your dreams deferred.
Yeah.
So everybody, if you get here, if you get to the point where you got your own podcast doing this is awesome. You're gonna have some battle scars. You fought some people. You might have fought some professors. You might have fought some friends trying to get here. You might have fought some rejections
Mm-hmm.
from colleges, jobs, internships. Those are all battle scars, but you didn't waver, right? You're still
Right.
here. You're still pursuing it. I graduated undergrad with like a 2.64 GPA.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize that. 2.64. And I took calculus one three times in undergrad.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a knucklehead. But we still here. I
That's
got
right.
3 degrees in physics from an HBCU, best one in the land. I'm
There
at
you go.
NASA, got my own program, doing research, studying things that we saw only, Einstein doing or whatever, but it's real. This is real life, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
Man, I love all of that, man. That's
Yeah.
dope. And that's why we did this, right? The whole BlerdOut movement, so we could share stories like that for the ones who are out there and say, I can't do it because I haven't achieved this, and not being afraid to get out there and just go do it, right? You got a lot of people rooting for you, and you don't even know it, so just go do it. And so I love
hmm
that what you shared. So looking ahead for your own aspirations and goals, both personal and professional, like what's next for you?
Man, I'm focusing on research right now. I
Okay.
got a series of papers that I'm working on. We always got to research. Publish or perish is a real thing out
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
But other than research, I'm really hoping to, expand my NASA program, expand really putting boots on the ground at our HBCUs. We got to show up.
Yeah.
But if I'm showing up, that means I'm bringing NASA. That means I'm bringing friends,
Yeah.
right? That means I'm bringing opportunities. I'm bringing resources, not just stickers and handouts,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm bringing, you can touch and feel another astrophysicist that looks like you,
Yeah.
right? So, and then also connect. I give my email out, my LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. Well, it's not Twitter no more, it's X,
X.
whatever.
Yeah. Right.
But all of that just to stay connected because they see they see the Nobel laureates out here and they don't know how to contact them. They
Right.
can't get in touch.
Yeah. Oh, true. True.
That's one of the things that I make time for, in my pursuits is being accessible,
Yeah.
which is a very important thing. If they don't have access to, the people doing the things that they want to do, then they can't, how can you get there
Right.
if you don't have access? So
Agreed.
that's
Agreed.
that's what I'm doing in the future. Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, I mean, the BlerdOut movement, we're going to get behind you and make sure all the HBCUs jump on board. Like I said,
Yeah.
I sit on the board for Tennessee State, College of Engineering and A&T for the College of Education. So I'll definitely be mentioning this in the meetings. And all the other HBCUs that get a whole, watch this podcast or listen in, I want to make sure that they know where to find you. So can you tell us, how can we find you, find out more about what you're doing and the work that you're doing and the goals that you have going forward? How can we get behind it?
Yeah, I am at Dr. _Gamble, Gamble 21 on all social media, including YouTube. My website is theoreticallydrgamble.com. So you can find me there. I'm easily found. I'm always outside, talking about the science. I'm
Yeah.
out talking about A&T. You're gonna hear me every time. But moving forward, feel free to connect. Feel free to shout me out. Feel free to, if you want more information about my program or the research I'm doing, or if you want me to pull up to your university, let me know. I'll make time for it. That's what I do. And so, yeah, that's how you can find me.
There it is.
Or you can Google me. I'm outside too.
Okay.
I'm on
Yeah,
Google.
yeah, on Google. Yeah, it's simple enough. And one more time, the art that you have is, you said artoftheory.com?
Theartoftheory.com.
Theartoftheory.com. I'm gonna definitely be checking that out. I want me some gear that has something like the research there on that you got.
Yeah, man, we got something for everything.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Well, again, I appreciate it, brother Dr. Ron Gamble. This has been a pleasure. You're doing some amazing things. I'm gonna go look up more information about the whole black hole situation.
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah.
got questions. Yeah, I want to understand that, but we just want to thank you for joining the podcast today. And I'm looking forward to seeing more about the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's the BlerdOut podcast.
Confidence, yeah. It really shouldn't be no arguments, cause you're now viewing the greatest of all time. Saying